The Samsung Galaxy Note 10 would be Samsung's most high-end smartphone for 2019, that's if you exclude the Samsung Galaxy Fold, and it would be launching in about 3 months' time. And as I've yet to talk about the Note 10 before, here's our first Leaks Rumors episode on the Samsung Galaxy Note 10, covering the design, the display, specs, camera, special features, battery, release date, price, and basically everything we know at the moment in terms of the Samsung Galaxy Note 10. So I hope you got those drinks and those snacks ready, and enjoy. Okay, so something that I like and also dislike about Samsung is that they have two different flagship lineups. So they have the Samsung Galaxy S line and the Samsung Galaxy Note line. And a new Note usually launches just about 4 months after a new Samsung Galaxy S has been released, followed by another brand new Galaxy S about 6 months or so after. So Samsung phones get outdated very, very quickly when compared to Google or Apple, just because they tend to release 2 flagships each year instead of just a single one. So this is similar to how OnePlus does it as well. And it's pretty much always been the case where the Galaxy S would come with a new design and new features, and then the new Note would be an improved version of that. We've seen that with the Note 8, which was a better version of the S8. We've seen it with the Samsung Galaxy Note 9, same thing, it was a better version of the S9. And the Note 10 would be exactly the same thing, an improved version of the Galaxy S10 from just a few months ago. So, section number 1, we have the design. Design-wise, the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 would look very similar to the Galaxy S10 Plus, with those really, really thin bezels and a front camera cutout, and that's about it. Now, when it comes to that camera cutout, at the end of 2018, Samsung has showcased us their upcoming Infinity panels. So we had the Infinity V, the Infinity U, the Infinity O, which is actually used at the moment in the Galaxy S10 and the S10 Plus and the S10e, as well as the new Infinity, which is a completely bezel-less display with absolutely zero cutouts, which hasn't really been used in anything so far. So I was actually wondering what phone would be using that display. Regardless of what phone it would have had to be a Samsung phone first, as Samsung's always prioritizing their own devices when it comes to their latest technologies. Well, the thing is, Samsung has actually unveiled a very unique phone recently. Meet the Samsung Galaxy A80. So this is a mid-range phone by Samsung, but actually features some very innovative things that not even the Galaxy S10 Plus has. For example, it has the brand new Infinity display with absolutely zero cutouts and some extremely thin bezels. This thing looks so futuristic, and what's even more futuristic about this phone is the camera. So this phone is a slidable phone, similar to the Oppo Find X from last year, if you guys remember that. And what's even more interesting is that the camera is also flippable as well. So you have the exact same camera on both the front as well as the back. And I wouldn't be surprised if Samsung does use a similar design idea at least, with the Samsung Galaxy Note 10. That would be insane. Having that full bezel-less display on the Note 10, and especially with the display size of the Note 10, that would be the perfect device to use with the S Pen, which is basically the key selling feature of the Note lineup. But I mean, realistically, that's not happening. The Note 10 would still have that dual camera cutout from the S10 Plus, as all the previous recent Notes have all been improved versions of the Galaxy S lineup rather than something entirely new. And some camera leaks, which I'll talk about in a second in the camera section of this video, pretty much confirmed this as well. Now, when it comes to the display, the Bell, which had a pretty good track record in the past, they reported that Samsung would be releasing not 1, but 2 models of the Galaxy Note 10. This is pretty interesting. So a regular Note 10 that would come with a 6.4-inch display, so the same size as the Galaxy S10 Plus, and then a larger Note 10, which would come with a 6.7 to 6.75-inch panel, so similar to the Galaxy S10 Plus 5G. And then Ice Universe, who's had a really good track record so far in terms of leaks, he tweeted Note 10 Pro. Now, the Bell did say that a smaller Note 10 would be tested in Europe first, mostly so that Samsung can test out the waters, before releasing this thing globally. But the larger Note 10, the Note 10 Pro, that would be the main Note 10, so to say. Now, every device that has Pro in its name needs a few extra features, something more than just a larger display. And it seems like one of these features would actually be a quad camera module instead of the triple one that we got with the S10 Plus and the S10, and this will only be on the larger Note 10 Pro and not a smaller Note 10. This is according to another report made by the Bell, and apparently this would be the exact same one, the camera module, or at least very similar to the one found in the Galaxy S10 5G edition. So there we go, this one pretty much shows that no, unfortunately, we would not be getting that flippable camera that we've seen in the Galaxy A80. That would be cool, but yeah, realistically, it's not happening. And the Galaxy S10 5G edition also comes with a 6.7-inch display and the quad camera on the back, where we have a main 12-megapixel lens, a 16-megapixel ultra-wide lens, a 12-megapixel telephoto lens, as well as a fourth 3D depth sensing camera. So this is that fourth module, which is actually used for improving depth mapping in portrait mode. So this is pretty much the Note 10's camera at least when it comes to everything that we've seen so far. And honestly, the cameras on the S10 are very, very good. So check out the Zone of Tech camera comparisons between the S10 and multiple phones, even the blind camera test in case you haven't seen that one. But yeah, I only have two complaints when it comes to the camera on the S10. The first one being the poor dynamic range on RAW photography. So my iPhone XS Max just obliterates the S10 in terms of dynamic range. This is how much I've managed to recover from this shot, by the way, which I initially thought to be lost completely. And then my second complaint is when it comes to low light photography. So while the S10 is better than the iPhone XS Max, it's significantly worse than the Pixel 3 in low light. And the reason for that is night sight. Google's amazing image processing. I mean, look at that. Pixel 3 versus the Samsung Galaxy S10. Yes, Pixel 3 wins by a long, long margin. And Huawei has something similar, but yeah, Samsung has literally nothing. They have bright night kind of, but it activates automatically and it's pretty bad. But yeah, Samsung is apparently working on a night mode of their own to compete with Google and Huawei, according to Ice Universe. And apparently this would be launching in April or May with a future software update. Now, you can indeed sideload the Google Pixel camera app on a Samsung Galaxy S10. However, you need to have a Qualcomm Snapdragon model of the S10 and not the Exynos one that's being sold in Europe, unfortunately. So yeah, the night mode would be something that the Note 10 would feature out of the box as well when it launches in August, and do expect some small improvements to the image processing as well. So basically through software, Samsung has usually done this every year with the Note lineup, small improvements from the S lineup even when the camera modules were basically identical. Now when it comes to the specs, these would be very similar to the highest end version of the Galaxy S10 Plus. So that means the Snapdragon 855 for the US and Canadian models of the Note 10, and then Exynos 9820 for the international ones. Up to 12 gigabytes of RAM and up to 1 terabyte of storage, and also microSD card support. So these specs, this phone, will be absolutely insane, same as the S10 Plus is. However, there is one thing that's rumored to be coming to the Note 10 that the Samsung Galaxy S10 didn't have, and that is UFS 3.0 storage from UFS 2.1. The Galaxy Fold, by the way, already has this. This is essentially Samsung's next generation of flash storage, and it can get speeds of up to 1.5 gigabytes per second read, which is insane in a phone. I mean, that's crazy, and about 400 megabytes per second for the write speeds. This is according to an image and a video posted by Ice Universe. And just to give you guys an idea, the S10 Plus, it only comes with UFS 2.1, the previous generation, which still has some impressive write speeds of about 700 to 800 megabytes per second, and about close to 200 megabytes per second for the write speeds. So yeah, UFS 3.0 is pretty much double the performance of UFS 2.1. Okay, so what about special features? Anything unique about the Note 10? Well, all the special features would be pretty much identical to the S10 Plus with the exception of the S Pen. And when it comes to the S Pen, I absolutely love mine. The only issue is that it only works best, at least, with Samsung's own S Notes app, which only syncs with Samsung devices, so it doesn't work on desktop or not even on other Android phones, so it's a very, very locked-in approach. But hey, if you're into S Notes and the S Pen, then this is an amazing thing to have, and expect some improvements, some small ones, with the S Pen as well. At the moment, we don't know anything specific regarding the next S Pen, but what we do know is that we will be getting 2 extra models actually of the Note 10. So yes, 4 models, not 2 of the Note 10, and that's because 2 of those would actually have 5G. So the main model, normal and 5G, and then the Pro model, again, normal and 5G. Okay, here's a really cool one. So ET News reports something quite unique about the Samsung Galaxy Note 10, and that's the fact that Samsung would be promoting a keyless feature on the Note 10. Essentially, they would remove all the buttons. So that means no power button, no volume buttons, not even a Bixby button anymore, literally nothing aside from the headphone jack and the charging port, which are of course, ports and not buttons. That's weird. I know, but apparently you would still have capacitive buttons on the side, so you'll still have something to basically touch, and it will be a vibration motor that's going to be improved, and you would be able to feel those. So something similar apparently to what HTC did with the HTC U12, which didn't have any buttons either, but unfortunately that one got some pretty bad reviews, by the way. And realistically, it's easily doable. You can have a smartphone today with no buttons or even ports at all, and it would charge through wireless charging, so you never need to turn it off unless it discharges, and then once once you put it on a wireless charger, it would turn itself on. So that's doable. The volume can be easily changed through software, like most people do now on iOS. For example, on the iPad, in the control center, on my 2018 11-inch iPad Pro, I almost never use the actual volume buttons to change the volume. Instead, I use the software volume slider. But yeah, let me know in the comments if this is something you would like to have or something you would be okay with in a future smartphone. Okay, so now let's move on to honestly what's the most exciting feature and section of this video by far, and that's the battery, and you'll see why in a second. So there's been some reports that Samsung will actually switch to graphene-based batteries for the Samsung Galaxy Note 10. Okay, why and what are those? Well, lithium-ion based batteries were actually developed, I believe, in 1991. So yeah, we've been using these for quite some time, and the technology hasn't really changed at all. And we've basically had to adapt to the low-capacity batteries. So we actually had to make more power-efficient processors. So yeah, the batteries haven't really changed at all in more than 20 years. Now, Samsung did apply for a patent on this a few years ago, actually, and these batteries can store 45% more charge than the latest technology that we have today, and also charge 5 times faster. Oh, also, they cannot explode or catch fire either, and there is unfortunately an issue with those batteries, so they cannot hold a charge for too long. After 500 cycles, the battery health actually dropped to 78.6%. However, it appears that all of this has now been fixed. So the Note 10 could be the world's first smartphone with such a battery. If not, then the S11 is also a likely candidate. What else interested in the battery? Well, reverse wireless charging, 20-watt wireless charging is also said to be included as well. We don't really know the actual battery capacity just yet, so no news on that. Now, when it comes to the release date, this would be around August to September 2019, so pretty much all the previous notes launched around this period. And finally, we have the price. Yes, it won't be cheap at all. So the entry-level Note 10 is rumored to start at $1,000, so same as the Note 9 and the Galaxy S10 Plus, which means that the Note 10 Pro could start at about $1,250. Just to make things clear, this would be for the baseline 128 gigabytes of storage models with no 5G, so the 5G models would be more than that. But yeah, regardless, this phone would be packed with features. And considering that this thing will cost basically the same as an iPhone XS, the regular XS costs now, okay, it's still gonna be a really good deal. But yeah, let me know in the comments your thoughts on the Galaxy Note 10 so far, and also subscribe notifications if you're new to the channel and you want to see more Leaks and Rumors episodes like this one. But yeah, this has been pretty much it for this video. I'm Daniel. I'm actually away on holiday as well at the moment. I recorded this video like a week ago or something. So yeah, follow on Instagram, Zenotech, for more cool traveling images, whatever, behind the scenes shots. Hopefully I posted something. But yeah, thank you for watching. I'm Daniel, and I'll see you guys in the next cool video. Zenotech, signing out. Cheers.